and they rang the bell for the main event, Sami and Owens against Usos for the tag title. They had 20 minutes left in the show, right? So the Usos, the heels, jump them from behind and beat him up and double super kick Owens, and they go to the break in 1 minute. what the f? We cannot see a wrestling match on it. So when they come back, they're getting heat on Owens, and they've wrapped his leg around the post. He sold it the whole match. But with a minute or so of heat, then Owens tags Sami. Sami makes comeback at a dive and gets some 2 counts while they do the thing where Owens and the other Uso aren't even on the ring or anywhere in sight. And then they stop Sami and they go to another break. They've been going like 4 minutes. I mean, what? You can't concentrate on or get into anything. And when they come back, there's less than 10 minutes on the air. Sami gets another tag to Owens, another comeback, a 2 count. At that point, they leave the match and go to a camera in the back on Paul and Solo watching the match on the monitor. And Paul gets the phone call from Roman and looks at Solo and says, "Tonight is your night." Then they go back to the match. Now, the fans in the arena are loving the match that we have barely seen.
Yeah.
I will say that for them. The fans there that actually have gotten to see this fucking thing, they're loving it. And then here comes Solo out seconds later because it's his night. And before he even gets through ringside, Riddle jumps him. And in the sloppiest looking way I've ever seen, they fought off. Just fought off. They walked through a curtain
with lots of people around.
Because it was one of the side arena exits, but they just walked through a curtain with Riddle throwing what were allegedly punches at Solo's back, and they just walked through the curtain. And that was it for Solo. And now we go back to the ring, and now the Usos have Owens in the ring by himself, and they throw 4,000 super kicks. And the referee standing there letting them just double team at will. And then after they can't beat Kevin Owens with 4,000 super kicks and he keeps fighting back, then Sami pulls one of the Usos out. Owens stunners the other one. Sami rolls in and hits the fucking haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. It was probably a good match. We saw very little of it, and there were a lot of distractions, but Solo was left with his dick in his hand, and the Usos got beat again. So, and I'm not saying I expected them to switch the belts, but I don't know what to say. What do you say?
It was hard to really care about this match after the whole show. Plus, I just think that the way they've done these backstage segments, the way there's been no forward mobility, whether you like Riddle or not, he was just kind of thrown into this despite past issues with Solo. They've taken all the steam out of this for me. Now, look, they had a hot crowd there, and they were into it. But I said the other day, the more Sami talks and tries to be the peacemaker with all this stuff, I don't want to see him and the Usos talking to each other anymore. Like, we've done that. Now just fight without going to commercial.
Yes.
Are the Usos going to get drafted away from SmackDown? What do you think they're going to do there?
Well, hopefully they'll at least get to go to the Marines or the Army, because I don't think they do well in the Navy. Well, maybe they will. They're from an island. No,
I don't even know.
They're going to get drafted.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they do well in the Navy?
Well, then I thought, well, because they're from an island, they've been around waters, they probably would, I guess. But hopefully it won't be the Air Force.
Are they from an island, or is their dad from an island?
Well, they're from the island of relevancy.
That's true. That's a very good point. Very, very good. That's in the state of euphoria, I understand.
Yes.